Hello and welcome to the 56th episode of the Python tutorial series. In today's episode, I hope to briefly illustrate the difference between global and local variables. So let's get straight to it. First, let's look at this piece of code on the left. As you can see, we have three variables, a, b, and c. A and b are both defined outside of any function. Hence, they are called global variables. On the other hand, c is defined inside the function. Hence, it is known as a local variable and exists only inside the function. What this means is that if I run this code by pressing the F5 key, I can then call the variable a, I can call the variable b, but when I call the variable c, it gives me an error. Why? Because the variable c only exists inside the function called addition. Hence, I can't call it outside of the function. Now then, let's look at another example. We can start by declaring a global value called a and setting it equal to 15. Then we can define a function called change and say a equals 5, and then we can print the value of a. Finally, outside the function, we can write print a, so it will print the initial value of our variable a. Then we can say change, and then print the value of a again, after we have changed its value. Now let's run our code by pressing the F5 key, and hang on a minute. We can see that the initial value of a is 15. Then inside the function we've changed the value to be 5, but then afterwards, once we call our value of a again, it goes back to being 15. I'm sure many of you may be surprised by this, but the explanation is once again very simple. The variable that we changed inside our function, although it is called a, is a local variable. If we want to assign a new value to our global variable from within the function, we first have to go on the left-hand side where we defined our function and state that the variable we are editing is global. We can do this by writing global a. Now, if we repeat the same steps as before, we can see that after changing the value of a from within the function, in our third iteration, the value of a remains 5. So the value of our global variable is now 5. We can double check this by calling the variable and see that its value has indeed been changed. Now with that last run through of our code, we have reached the end of today's overview of global and local variables. I hope you enjoyed this brief episode, and if so, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll also leave a link to my other tutorial videos on your screen and in the video description, so why not check those out too? Once again, thank you all for watching today's video, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, happy coding!